I don't blame China. I don't blame Vietnam. I see they're meeting today. Is that wonderful? That's a lovely meeting. They're meeting like trying to figure out how do we screw the United States of America.
Hello, 大家好，欢迎回到外媒看中国，我是安博然。US President Donald Trump still has not received the call he's been begging President Xi for, as he quickly realizes that the art of the deal is nothing when compared to the art of war. China's reciprocal 125% tariff on imported US goods remains in place, and Beijing has already stopped buying beef, beans, and Boeings from the United States. Plus, Chinese exports of important rare earth minerals and magnets to the US have been halted, sending shockwaves through the Trump administration as they truly come to terms with what the internet meme FAFO really means. This is all as China's president's in the middle of his state visits to Vietnam, Malaysia and Cambodia, which has also put Donald Trump on edge. Today, we'll go beyond the propaganda. This is Reports on China. I'm Andy Boreham here in Shanghai. Let's get reporting. China has pushed the United States into an awkward position after the Trump administration made a serious miscalculation, playing a high-stakes game of chicken with Beijing. American farmers, President Donald Trump's core supporters, are feeling the pinch after China was forced to halt imports of US soybeans, beef, wheat, pork, and poultry. Not only that, but Beijing's retaliatory move has shown those farmers who tend to support Trump at whatever cost that their savior perhaps doesn't think as much of them as they do of him. That realization is coming after Trump cancelled US tariffs on imported Chinese electronics and related components, helping out his billionaire friends in Silicon Valley while ignoring those farmers who have had his back for years. Watch as Trump explicitly admits to helping out his friends in big tech.
Look, I'm a very flexible person. I don't change my mind, but I'm flexible. And you have to be. You just can't have a wall and you'll only go. No, sometimes you have to go around it, under it, or above it. There'll be maybe things coming up. I speak to Tim Cook. I helped Tim Cook recently, and that whole business. I don't want to hurt anybody.
But it gets worse for the Trump administration and for the United States in general, as Chinese airlines have completely halted delivery of Boeing passenger planes, sending the company's share price into freefall and a shiver up the spine of Donald Trump. Now, in case you don't know, Boeing is a US company, and it builds all its planes inside the United States, directly employing 150,000 Americans. Now, as you already know, one of the main goals of Trump's tariff tantrums was to bring manufacturing back to America, but the exact opposite is happening. Not only was he forced to remove tariffs on electronics and smartphones, allowing Apple to continue producing their phones in China, but it's also directly affecting manufacturing jobs that already exist in the United States, like those tens of thousands of jobs producing Boeing planes. This according to CNN. Boeing is a major part of the US economy, contributing an estimated $79 billion in supporting 1.6 million jobs, both directly and indirectly. It has nearly 150,000 US employees of its own. Anyone who thought Trump was somehow playing a game of 4D chess with his tariff terrorism clearly underestimated China, who is single-handedly undoing his superiority complex and taking the air out of his bluster. China's president yesterday wrapped up his official visit to Vietnam, where dozens of trade agreements between the two countries were signed and relations were strengthened, which also unnerved President Donald Trump. Watch.
And you know what? I don't blame China at all. I don't blame President Xi. I like him. He likes me. I mean, who knows? Who the hell cares? I don't blame China. I don't blame Vietnam. I see they're meeting today. Is that wonderful? That's a lovely meeting. They're meeting like trying to figure out how do we screw the United States of America.
Trump's statement there that China and Vietnam are meeting to discuss how to screw over the United States just goes to show how Washington, D.C. got into this mess to begin with. No one was discussing how to screw over the US. For starters, the trip was planned a long time ago. But there's no doubt that the two leaders did discuss what they can do to survive, what they can do to avoid massive disruptions at the whim of the folks sitting in cozy offices on Capitol Hill. The BBC quoted a former US trade negotiator who said President Xi's comments were a very shrewd tactical move. While Trump seems determined to blow up the trade system, Xi is positioning China as the defender of rules-based trade, while painting the US as a reckless, rogue nation. Well, isn't that exactly what it is? It's important also to note that Vietnam was one of the first countries to buckle after Trump's Liberation Day tariffs were announced on April 2, and they've already sent a delegation to beg Trump for leniency, which makes it a little harder for countries like China to stand up against unilateral US bullying. That is why some of the discussions in Hanoi included President Xi urging Vietnam's leaders to jointly oppose unilateral bullying. China is doing an amazing job of defending the world and pushing back against Trump's unpredictable and haphazard trade war, but Beijing cannot do it alone. And like China has said time and time again, no one wants to ruin the United States. We just want that country to stop with its destructive, hegemonic attitude, come back down to earth, and start treating other countries with respect and as equals. Literally, one of China's core principles is relationships with other countries, big or small, that are based on mutual respect, non-interference, and win-win cooperation. You might have noticed that even when the heads of tiny nations visit Beijing, they're treated with the same respect as visitors from larger, more influential nations. That kind of respect is not only sorely lacking from the United States, it is altogether non-existent. Like I said days ago, Trump is absolutely not going to get that call from President Xi under the current circumstances. He'll have to make some massive changes and remove all of his April 2 tariffs before that will even be remotely considered by Beijing. After that, China's president might just be willing to talk with Trump and negotiate China reversing some of its reciprocal measures, like buying American beef and soybeans again. Maybe. And on that note, that will be it for today, you guys. But before I let you go, I want to make an exciting announcement for my core followers who have made it to the end of this video. I've written a book, and it's coming out soon. It's called the Wu Mao Handbook Volume 1, and it's packed with the tools you need to defeat any anti-China troll. From the social credit score to the China threat, from slave labor to Winnie the Pooh, the Wu Mao Handbook will arm you with the facts you need to re-educate the China hater in your life. And it also has lots of fun games and extra facts. It's not available just yet, so keep watching in the coming weeks for information on how you can get your hands on a copy. I'm super excited. And some more exciting news, my YouTube channel finally hit 100,000 subscribers. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for the support. I really appreciate it. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.